Okay, so I sat with it here. I think the thing is like you've started this healing journey, but only on a surface level. Now, like I said, you've been through it. You've had a lot of bad luck, but the scales are tipping in your favor. Like, this is resolving, right? But there's still, the sense of things being out of control, but I do see you surrendering to it, right? But I also see, like, despite this, like, there's still a lot of delays. You might even still have toxic energies around you and in your circle, and it's causing a lot of conflict still, even though you're in this, like, fuck it, do what you want kind of energy, and taking a step back and not trying to play into one side or the other. But I do feel like you have a lot of grief and heartache with this choice, right? Even though you know it's what's best for you, you're still kind of surrounded by it. With death, I really see you doing your best to let go of this. With judgment, I also want to say that I not only like releasing judgment and releasing the judgment of others, but I feel like you are someone who sees things for what they are. And because you can see things for what they are, all the hows and the whys, it has you kind of like, you have empathy for whoever this conflict is with, for whoever this King of Wands in reverse is with, because you know them, right? You know why these things are, but you simply cannot feed into it anymore. You have to focus on yourself. So you've had these boundaries, you've had this strength, and you've held very strong to these boundaries. You've focused on your own spiritual journey, your own self-love, and your own stability. But I think the reason we have these coming out here, cards that are very much focused on healing and intuition, specifically with the first card that came out, a lot of times this is, like I said, focusing on that shadow side of yourself, that dark side of yourself, and having that healing and forgiveness for that. I think maybe at some point, not that you were the monster, but you were a little bit of a shadow. Maybe you did feed into certain situations. And I'm really, again, thinking about, there's this quote that I quote and reference a lot. It's from the Gemma Doyle trilogy. I believe it's in the second book, but I could be wrong. It could be the first. But Miss Moore, the character, she says that there are no wrong choices, only other choices. And so I think as you really approach your healing and really go into quote unquote this, dark healing chamber and examine your own shadows, because I feel like you extend so much grace to other people and their shadows, and like understanding why they've done what they've done and why they are the way they are, but you don't extend yourself that same grace. So like, I feel like you've done all this, like I said, surface level, external healing kind of vibes, right? But you haven't really gone in to tackle this. I feel like you're starting to. And just allow yourself to trust the process. One of the things I was reading up on these cards too, as I was collecting my thoughts, but the High Priestess one thing it notes in there is like, if you're experiencing something that just seems so out of this world and unfathomable that is happening, like, trust it. So long as it feels good, lean into it. Now, I don't mean this in a feeding delusion or spiritual psychosis kind of way. So I don't mean like you see this deity standing before you, feed into it, but I mean more of an opportunity is presenting itself, whether it's like a new job or a move or something like that, because I'm kind of also getting like, you can't heal in the place that hurt you, you can't heal around these connections that hurt you. And I feel like maybe you are someone who is getting this opportunity, but you're like, oh, that's gonna change my entire world, like this is leaving everything I know behind. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Take that if it resonates. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the vibe for everyone who sees this, but it does feel like it is sticking out. Trust it. Whatever this shift is, this pull in direction, this thing that you're like, this almost seems unreal. If it feels good, if it feels right, lean into it and trust your intuition, trust yourself during this healing process too. I feel like you don't trust yourself to go in deep into this, right? Lastly, we have the miracle of Isis. Again, just miraculous healing, and I think really just allowing yourself to, and I say this as someone who has very firm boundaries with certain beliefs and things that I will do readings on. So when I say healing, I don't necessarily mean like physical healing or, you know, mental health healing. Always go see a professional. I'm very, very passionate about that, but more on that spiritual side, right? So really just allow yourself to embrace the healing, embrace the impossible, trust yourself. I'm thinking back to like the song though, The Girl Who Stole the Stars, the Eight of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm just going to pull some more cards here. I feel like you are someone who is very powerful at transmuting as well. That you have so much power and you don't see it. Yeah, as I say, you don't see it. The High Priestess in reverse, blocked intuition. Yeah, you don't see it. And I feel like you feel very alone and feel very isolated. And again, pointing to the healing journey with the Three of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you are someone who is very deeply intuitive, very, very powerful. And I don't mean like, God, I hope I'm like expressing myself right. Like you have this very gentle, calm energy, but I just think you don't see it. I think you see yourself as just alone. And I will say maybe you are alone in a lot of ways, like, you know, and stepping back from these energies that have been, you know, toxic, and there's conflict and bad luck and all of that stuff. Stepping back from that is hard. And sometimes, you know, when we're on a more spiritual path, or we're, I hate this because like I feel like I'm not articulating it well, because I don't want to feed into the whole like Delulu I'm ascended mindset, because that is not where I'm going with this. But there's just a lot of things that you are no longer in alignment with, and those things are shedding away, and it's going to feel very lonely and very isolating. And when we go through this ascension, and I'm not, this isn't me shaming people who like, because I do relate to those terms. I just think we have to be really cautious with how we present messages, at least I do, because I never want to feed into anyone's psychosis or anything like that. So always check in with yourself. This isn't me saying like you're a goddess ascending, not that you're not a goddess and a badass bitch, but you know what I mean. You just have a lot of a very calm power to you, and I don't think you trust yourself. You don't trust your intuition. You don't extend the same grace that you so freely give to others to yourself. So in conclusion, trust yourself and extend your shadows that same grace and love and compassion that you have consistently given to others in their shadows. I guess that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. I hope that helps. I hope that resonates. I know this is pretty scattered. I'm probably not even going to upload this until tomorrow, because it's like over 10 minutes long, and that means posting it in multiple parts, and I don't know how to condense myself, so here we are.